Assalamualaikum to Dr. Dayang and everyone. Today my group, which is the group 3, will present regarding our topic, which is the food safety issue in poultry industry. My name is Nur Azra and my members are Nurul Nadila, Nur Hafizan and Nur Shasha Shazana. This is our content that can be categorized into the introduction, previous or current technology, food safety innovation in poultry industry and its challenges, future trends, and lastly, the conclusion. For the part of introduction, I will explain a little bit regarding the introductory to poultry industry, which is the typical operation of an integrated poultry farm. First, it starts with a feed mill, where a stock feed is prepared and it will distribute to the grow-out farm and then the breeder farm. The grow-out farm is the place is to raise the full-grown broiler, which is the 30 to 30 days, to minimum weight of 2.2 kg. Then, it will produce the live broiler and then go to the processing plant. The second place is the breeder farm, which is to raise the parent stock, which is to produce the fertilized egg. Then it will produce the breed chicken and then the fertilized egg. This is like a cycle in the integrated poultry farm. Next, we will move to the possible issue of poultry industry. First is a lack of information. So the solution is get the information from the reliable source, especially from Ministry of Agriculture or from qualified veterinary doctor. Second, there is a problems of disease and parasites. Then we need to observe any strange sign, inform the veterinary doctor at once. By so doing, the right drugs will be prescribed. Third one is the access to bad genetic. Then the solution is consult the veterinary doctor before collect the birds and chicken. The fourth one is feed related problem. Then we need to overcome of the problem nutrient deficiency. The fifth one is water related problem. Then we need to check the water condition before including in the feeding bowls. The last one is drugs related problem. So we need to should consult veterinary for the right drugs for the right problem. Then we move to the HACCP steps, where these regulations need to be implemented in order to fulfill or meet the certain requirement that must be followed by the industry. For the first one is identifying hazards and assessing the less risk by or for the example is the product contain contaminant or sensitive ingredient. Second one is identifying the CCPS, which is the critical control points. By the manufacturing involve a control process, for example high temperature, pH change or process that can eliminate the hazard. The third one is establishing critical limits by distribution chain post any potential hazard. The fourth one is implementing continuous monitoring. Then we need to do the routines to ensure safety measures are working. The fifth one is implementing corrective measures by establish appropriate response if monitoring indicates a problem. The sixth one is verification and validation, is to establish accurate and detailed record keeping system that documents problem and the remedial steps to be taken. And the last one is documentation record keeping by establish a verification system that ensures the above steps are being followed.
I will continue with the current technology in poultry industry part. First is air-conditioned poultry house. Poultry houses are controlled by computer systems that regulate the temperature, humidity, lighting, food and water in the barns. Many farmers use apps on their phones to monitor the systems on top of the in-person checks they do throughout the day. Next, air quality will be maintained through fan ventilation systems. They are set at thresholds to automatically turn on and off depending on the humidity and temperature of the air in the barn. As the birds grow, it is necessary to modify the environment so that it is not too hot or too cold. This autonomous technology maintains the ideal climate for the birds regardless of their age. Next is robotic equipment. Robots can be used for cleaning and sanitizing, collecting eggs and checking birds. By using robots, it's more accurate and truthful when compared to humans. For example, France-based Octopus Robots designs entirely autonomous robots to prevent risk and treat contamination. It was designed to sanitize large buildings such as poultry farms and particularly their litter. The robots also can evaluate environmental factors such as temperature, humidity, carbon dioxide, ammonia, and so on.
Innovation is all the activities that result in new products or new production methods. Food safety process innovation often lead to product innovation which to obtain a safer foods. Food safety is not easy to guarantee, particularly in the case of pathogen contamination. Requirement for pathogen control demanded for large meat and poultry industry. To ensure the safety of poultry, the first innovation is develop a system for sampling and testing for microbial pathogen such as polymerase chain reaction, which is PCR technology, which it is the faster and more reliable than traditional microbiological testing method. It is for detecting bacteria such as E. coli as the cause of human illness. Then, it also developed a sampling protocol. Sampling protocols are critical to the management of pathogen risk because while testing every product is not economically feasible, enough product must be tested to manage risk to an acceptably low level. For example, on a case study, Texas American test sample on 3 locations in the plant. Samples are taken at 15 minutes interval and suppliers are notified if any pathogen are detected. Among the non-thermal approaches, cool plasma treatment for safety and quality of poultry and meat product is a very recent innovation. Cool plasma is a rapid, effective non-thermal technology that generated under atmospheric or vacuum temperature at 30 degrees Celsius until 60 degrees Celsius that require a low energy. Cold plasma can be induced and sustained by means of an electric discharge, in the case at atmospheric or low pressure using the corona, the electric barrier discharge (DBD). In a simple words, cold plasma is an ionized gas generated under atmospheric or low pressure condition. Cold plasma can be formed by electrifying or using electromagnetic wave on gas at reduced pressure. This innovation is for decontamination of meat and poultry product, reduce the microbiological safety risk of poultry and meat product, and also maintain the quality characteristic with the combined goal of shelf-life extension.
Okay, next is the challenges related to the current technology. So the first one is the air filtration problem and cost. So for air filtration problem, there is many different size and form of dust and debris in air, such as the feeder, hair, feed dust, powder feces, and also the dandruff. The dandruff. So basically, the dust and feeder in air has hampered and delayed the operation efficiency of air conditioning equipment. Okay, for the cost, more exhaust fans are required for tunnel ventilation than used in typical curtain-side house. So basically, the extra operation cost for tunnel ventilation must be balanced against the increase in weight gain and reduction in mortality that can be achieved during extremely hot weather. Okay, for the second one is the cost and navigation of robotic equipment. So robotic equipment costs a lot of money to make or buy the robot. They also need the maintenance to keep them running. So when robotic equipment is used, the poultrymen can lose their job. So the navigation also is known as the biggest challenges in developing technology, since they have to develop a navigation system that combines the use of shape detection and recognition, triangulation, and anti-collision system. So the third one is the limited material of 3D printing. So the available of plastic and metal as raw material is not exhaustive. So this is because not all metal or plastic can be temperature controlled enough to allow the 3D printing. Besides, many of printable material cannot be recycled and very few are food safe. So the fourth one is the challenges in RFID. So RFID is often exposed to harsh environment with excessive dirt, dust, moisture, and they must be function in both extreme heat and cool, which is the temperature from 30 degrees Celsius to which is the temperature is from negative 30 degrees Celsius to 70 degrees Celsius. So for the example, for the animal, the RFID have to validate under extremely cool temperature, which is negative 25 degrees Celsius. So the second one is the monitoring system. Monitoring system can create a huge volume of data that are difficult to manage. So this cause a huge increase in daily volume of data, which is when we use the RFID implementation, it can generate 10 to 100 times more information than traditional barcode technology. So the database administrator need to be able to deal with the potential stress on the database in terms of speed and volume. Okay, the third one for the challenges in RFID is the fault detection and isolation. Okay, in remote sensing application, it is essential to detect the inaccurate measurement. So the false read can be a result of radio wave being distorted, deflected, absorbed, and also interfered. Okay, let's take a look at the future trend. Okay, for a future trend, for robotic equipment, the market penetration is relatively slow because it takes time to develop, test, and ensure the technology conform to various standards set out by the different countries. It also lack of incentive and regulation to promote automation in the industry. For the second one is in COVID-19 pandemic, there may be also an increase in the use of antibiotic in feed-producing animal. This is to improve animal immunity and health as well as increase animal farming profit. However, this use may increase the threat of antibiotic-resistant bacteria and the negative impact of antibiotic on the environment. The third one is it is expected that COVID-19 lockdown will reduce animal welfare due to a shortage of workers for daily animal care and farming, rearing restriction, backyard husbandry, and limited access to feed and disease treatment. The fourth one is there also could be a marked increase in the cost of feeding for animal production and elevated product prices. In future, the feed industry has an obligation to ensure the quality of feedstuff and that they are free of pathogen and ecologically friendly. The fifth one is the limited water resources and climatic changes are also expected to adversely affect the poultry production costs and strategic planning. Thus, the COVID-19 pandemic has highlighted the need for acknowledging the great risk that current virus and future microorganisms that may lead to pandemic poses to animal health. So government also should establish new regulation for animal health care, trade, movement of domestic and wild animal, and provide adequate research fund for this activity to establish a strategic plan to ensure a continuous supply of animal protein.
So, as the conclusion, an effective and efficient food safety system must be based on the science. To achieve a food safety system based on science, current status governing food safety regulation and management must be revised. The last one is to implement a science-based system. Reorganization of federal food safety effort is required. Thank you for your time, and that's all from us.